Good morning, friends, and welcome back to Trans India Real People, Real Emotions. This week we continue our interaction with Vipul Bansal and Suresh Khosla. While Vipul is the current General Secretary of Bombay Goods Transport Association, Suresh held this post last year. Both these youngsters have been working tirelessly for the association, and we will know more about their efforts in the second part of this episode. In the first part today, we will be talking to another transporter and a managing committee member of the apex body All India Motor Transport Congress, Mr. Anantdeep Singh. Anantdeep heads Nav Bharat Goods Carrier, which is primarily into parcel loads. It is well known in the transport industry that parcel loads, or perchun as it is called, is quite a challenging task. It is not as simple as picking up goods from point A to point B, as in the case of full truckloads. Here the goods in small parcels have to be picked from various locations, brought to the central godown in the city, and then distributed according to the destinations. However, one striking thing about these Transport Nagars is most of these godowns are in Transport Nagars spread across the country. And while we talk to Anantdeep at Ludhiana Transport Nagar, you will see the shabby condition in the background. This is something that needs immediate attention. So coming up after this very short break, our interaction with Anantdeep Singh at the Ludhiana Transport Nagar. Stay tuned. You are watching Trans India, Real People, Real Emotions.
महिंद्रा ये गारंटी देते हैं कि उनका ब्लेजो एक्स सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज देता है, वरना कर दीजिए ट्रक वापस।
सॉरी अजय, महिंद्रा फ्यूरियो है। एक्शन।
महिंद्रा गारंटी देते हैं कि उनका फ्यूरियो सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज देता है, नहीं तो
एक्चुअली जयो, महिंद्रा जयो है, थोड़ा चेंज है। एंड एक्शन।
महिंद्रा ये गारंटी देते हैं कि उनका जियो सबसे चल क्या रहा है यहाँ पे?
मैम, ये चारों ट्रक ज्यादा माइलेज देते हैं, चारों।
तो ऐसा बोलो ना, ब्लेजो एक्स, फ्यूरियो, फ्यूरियो 7 और जयो। महिंद्रा के ये सभी ट्रक्स देते हैं सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज की गारंटी, नहीं तो कर दीजिए इन्हें वापस। महिंद्रा, देश की सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज देने वाली ट्रक रेंज।
Welcome back, viewers. You are watching Trans India, Real People, Real Emotions. In our first segment today, we will be talking to Anantdeep Singh, who heads Nav Bharat Goods Carrier and is a managing committee member of All India Motor Transport Congress. Here's what Anantdeep had to say about the issues related to the transport industry.
Girish, as you know, कि मेरा ट्रांसपोर्ट है नव भारत गुड्स कैरियर, जो वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग इन द स्टेट्स ऑफ पंजाब, हिमाचल एंड J&K, covering every nook and corner of these three states, and we are more into part load mode of transport, that is परचून के जरा ट्रांसपोर्ट में हम परचून मोड पे काम करते हैं जरा। तो हम लोग के पास अपना ही फ्लीट है ट्रक्स का, और अपना ही ये सारा, अगर हम बात करें ये पंजाब, हिमाचल एंड J&K में आफ्टर एवरी 20 किलोमीटर्स 25 kilometers we have our agency or our office, that is it.
So you're majorly serving these three states?
Yeah, majorly serving these three and a part of Haryana till Panipat. In terms of say quantity wise, if I say population बढ़ रहा है हर जगह का, तो definitely quantity तो बढ़ ही रहा है इसका काम का, but अगर मैं profitability की बात करूँगा तो profitability is down because हम लोग का just since we are a regional player कवरिंग 3 स्टेट्स, तो उसमें जो रूट टू रूट एक कंपटीशन लेवल रहता है, लाइक से लुधियाना टू अमृतसर और पानीपत टू लुधियाना, रूट टू रूट ट्रांसपोर्टर जो होता है वो उससे हमारा मेजरली कंपटीशन रहता है, तो उसमें प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी थोड़ा लो रहता है, बट क्वांटिटी इज़ नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम। वो हमारा मेजरली क्वांटिटी बेस्ड काम रहता है, बट हाँ प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी इज़ लो आजकल। लास्ट 10 years में अगर बात की जाए तो इट हैज़ बीन लाइक दिस इज़ दी, I say every year is the lowest than the earlier year in terms of profitability. During the pandemic, like I was rather among the first one जिसने नॉर्थ में काम ऑपरेशंस रिज्यूम किया, सो दैट वाज मेजरली बिकॉज दैट टाइम वी हैड अ फीलिंग टू सर्व द इंडस्ट्री, क्योंकि हम लोग जैसे जिस पार्ट लोड मोड में थे, आर मेजर क्लाइंट्स वर फ्रॉम द FMCG सेक्टर एंड मेडिसिन सेक्टर, तो वो इतना एक प्रेशर था कि एक सोशल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी था। तो दैट टाइम वी वर अमंग द फर्स्ट वन, तो उसमें वी डिडंट इवन फेल द बर्nt ऑफ इट, क्योंकि उस टाइम पे हमें जो एज मिला हमारे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के लिए, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर जो हमारा स्ट्रॉन्ग था, दैट एज वी हैड, तो उसमें हम लोग अर्लियर ऑपरेशन रिज्यूम कर पाए और हमारा उस टाइम पे प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी अच्छा रहा, क्योंकि 50% ट्रांसपोर्ट अपना ऑपरेशंस 2-3 महीने रिज्यूम ही नहीं कर पाए थे। तो दैट पेंडेमिक टाइम वाज आई से कि हमने वी प्लेड आवर रोल वेल फॉर दैट सोशल पार्ट ऑल्सो एज अ रिस्पॉन्सिबल टूवर्ड्स द सोसाइटी ऑल्सो। एंड अपनी बात करूँ, अगर कंपनी बेस पे बात करूँ, तो प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी वॉज ऑल्सो गुड, बिकॉज जो छोटा मोटा प्लेयर था, दे वर नॉट इन ऑपरेशन दैट टाइम। तो दैट वाज आई थिंक कि ठीक है, इट वाज अ गुड टाइम फॉर लॉजिस्टिक्स प्लेयर्स, लाइक ऑर्गेनाइज्ड लॉजिस्टिक प्लेयर्स, दैट वाज अ गुड टाइम। हर साल बढ़ी रही है सिंस अब अगर पंजाब की बात करूँ, जो अच्छे ड्राइवर हैं वो तो सारे बाहरी फॉरेन लैंड्स में, इट्स अ ग्रीनर पास्चर फॉर देम ओवर देयर। उसके बाद जो सेकंड लाइन ऑफ ड्राइवर्स हैं, उन्होंने अपनी गाड़ियाँ डाल ली। हमारे पास तो सो लेफ्ट ओवर इज़ विद अस, वो तो शॉर्टेज एक शुरू से रही है। हाँ, पेंडिंग में ज़्यादा रही, क्योंकि जो यूपी बिहार के ज़रा ड्राइवर्स हमारे पास थे वो लोग चले गए थे। पर उस टाइम पे फिर सिंस कंपनी सारी ओपन नहीं थी, तो वो जो ड्राइवर्स दूसरे फ्री भी थे, वो भी ड्यूरिंग पैंडमिक इट वाज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम। हाँ, आफ्टर द पैंडमिक एंड बिफोर द पैंडमिक, यस, आफ्टर पैंडमिक ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम शुरू हो गई, क्योंकि एक पर्टिकुलर सेगमेंट एरिया के ड्राइवर्स थे, वहीं पर रह गए, वो वापस नहीं आए वो लोग। रादर अगर 100 में से मैं बात करूँ तो 30-40% ड्राइवर डिडंट केम बैक। शायद वहाँ पर जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज़, यूपी इज़ ग्रोइंग लाइक एनी वे, तो सिमिलरली शायद जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ अच्छी होगी इस एरिया में, वो वापस नहीं आए। आफ्टर पैंडमिक ज़्यादा एक्यूट शॉर्टेज है, बिफोर पैंडमिक भी थी, बट आफ्टर पैंडमिक इज़ मच मोर देन वट इट वॉज अर्लियर। परसेंटेज वाइज इफ आई से, इफ अगर परसेंटेज में हम बात करें, 100% अगर इंक्रीज डीजल रेट्स में है ड्यूरिंग दैट पैंडमिक टाइम, इफ आई टॉक राइट नाउ, पैंडमिक डीजल वॉज समथिंग हॉवरिंग अराउंड 55 to 60 रुपीज़। तो आज की डेट में डीजल प्राइसेस भी अगर हम लें तो दैट इज़ क्लोज टू 90 रुपीज़। अभी 95 से गवर्नमेंट हैज़ रिड्यूस सम ड्यूटीज़, तो अब शायद इट इज़ बिलो 90। बट अगर डीजल प्राइसेस 40% इंक्रीज़ हुए हैं, फ्रेट रेट्स उस प्रोपोर्शनेट में इंक्रीज़ नहीं हो पाए हैं। फ्रेट रेट का अगर एक रीजनेबल मैं बात करूँगा तो वो आई थिंक 5-10% इंक्रीज़ रहा है, उससे ज़्यादा इंक्रीज़ नहीं रहा। हाँ, डीजल 40% इंक्रीज़ ज़रूर हो गया है। Majorly, I think the industry needs to be organized, and this is one thing where we are lacking, since we are not coming up with, ठीक है, our past presidents also and even anybody in power, they do say beat the central government or any organization, जैसे कि वो जैसे मोदी जी का भी नारा है सबका साथ सबका विकास। तो ठीक है, हमारे प्रेसिडेंट साहिबान पुराने भी, करंट भी शायद इसी पॉलिसी पे चलते रहे हैं, बट ये सब ठीक है, सबका विकास, वी हैव टू टेक अलॉन्ग एवरी सेगमेंट ऑफ आवर ट्रेड विद अस, बट वी नीड टू हैव अ ब्लूप्रिंट ऑफ द इंडस्ट्री। अभी इट्स लॉट मोर अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड, यू सी, लाइक अ पर्सन लाइक मी विद सो मच ऑफ infrastructure, आई एम ओनिंग लाइक, I have a fleet of 80+ trucks, I have my own godowns, own properties, and you imagine a person with none of the infrastructure, not even with a single truck, he is coming and competing with me. So उसमें कोई स्ट्रक्चर नहीं है ना, there's no some entry point तो है ही नहीं आपके ट्रेड में आज कोई, which needs to be regulated. Like you are shunting out a employee of yours and वो अगले दिन एक कंपनी खोल के बैठा हुआ एक GR बुक छिपा के, you don't even need a office, independent office on a rent, वो भी शेयरिंग बेस पे हो जाता है। एंड वो जाके फिर एक अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर, वो तो है एक मेजर प्रॉब्लम, उससे बड़ी मार है जो अभी ठीक है, गवर्नमेंट इज़ वर्किंग अपॉन दैट, GST रिजाइम आया, डिफरेंट टैक्सेशन रिजाइम में वो लोग कुछ ना कुछ पॉलिसीज़ लेके आ रहे हैं, चेंज कर रहे हैं, दे आर गेटिंग मोर स्ट्रिक्ट विद द पॉलिसीज़, बट स्टिल आई थिंक एवरीबडी नोज जो बगैर बिल के काम 2 नंबर में जो काम चल रहा है वो चल रहा है, वो जो एक मेजर सेटबैक है। उसमें वो लोग क्या करते हैं कि जो विदाउट बिल करते हैं उसमें वो कंपनसेट कर देते हैं विद बिल रेट्स कम ले लेते हैं, तो दैट्स अ बिग हिट बैक टू द कंपनीज हु आर वर्किंग इन एन एथिकल वे. अच्छा, एंड यू इमेजिन यार कि a person without any infrastructure is competing with a person without even a single truck is competing with a person having 100 trucks. So there need to be right now, जो अब major thing where we lacking is, and where apex organization is not even thinking about it, that is how can we organize this sector. We should have some blueprint about it. That is it. सबको साथ लेके चलने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. That is कि मैं नहीं कहूँगा कि यार कोई अगर कोई एक गाय छोटे लेवल से उठ के ऊपर प्रोग्रेस नहीं कर सकता है, करे, देयर इज़ नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम टू इट, बट एटलीस्ट कुछ चेक्स एंड बैलेंसेस तो हो. तुम ट्रेड में तुम एंटर कर रहे हो, तुम दैट इज़ नॉट अ थिंग कि तुम एक जी आर बुक प्रिंट करा के यू आर एंटरिंग एंड यू आर स्टार्ट कॉम्पिटिंग ए पर्सन विद 100 ट्रक प्लस फ्लीट. मतलब देयर हैज़ टू बी सम एंट्री और एग्जिट बैरियर्स, चेक बैलेंसेस फॉर दिस थिंग. दैट इज़ वेयर वी आर लैकिंग. या दैट इज़ द नीड ऑफ द ईयर. अभी आप देखो, अगर ऑल इंडिया लेवल पे बात करें, जितनी भी अच्छी कंपनी चल रही हैं, जितने भी कंपनीज वी आर डूइंग वेल इन पार्ट, स्पेशली आई वुड टॉक अबाउट द पार्ट लोड सेगमेंट. अगर एक न्यू जनरेशन इसमें नहीं इंटरेस्टेड आने में, दे आर नॉट इवन जॉइनिंग द ट्रेड, दे आर सीइंग सम फाइंडिंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज इन अदर सेक्टर्स. तो व्हाट इज़ द बेसिक पॉइंट बिहाइंड दैट? That is the major reason कि we don't have, we're not taking up with, we're not having some blueprint, or we're not having some policy in regard to the trade. That is the major thing we are lacking. Well, if I talk about 5 years down the line, I see future बहुत bright है. Future is there क्योंकि road transport is a major, it's a backbone of the economy of any country. और इंडिया में भी हमारा जो major cargo movement that is on the road segment only, and the way systems are improving, ठीक है, government is doing its best in improving the infrastructure part also. अगर आप देखो highways की improvements, you can see that even in Punjab, UP and any damn state, they are investing a lot in highways and all that. श्रीनगर की बात करूँ तो since we are working in these 3 states, हिमाचल, पंजाब and J&K, तो आई नो कि हिली टेरेन में भी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बहुत अच्छा इम्प्रूव किया है. 5 years down the line, I see a very bright future because एक मुझे आई एम होपफुल कि ऑर्गेनाइज थिंग्स विल गेट ऑर्गेनाइज. द वे द करंट जनरेशन जो हमारी है, हम लोग हर जगह से द वॉइसेस हैव स्टार्टेड कमिंग अप कि द ट्रेड हैज़ टू बी ऑर्गेनाइज. कुछ ना कुछ यू नीड टू हैव अ पॉलिसी फ्रेम्ड फॉर इट, एंड इवन द गवर्नमेंट इज सीरियस कमिंग अप विद आई थिंक कपल ऑफ एक्ट्स ऑल्सो. स्क्रैपिंग एक्ट इज़ ऑन द वे, एंड देन आई थिंक कि टैक्सेशन में भी दे आर गेटिंग मोर स्ट्रिक्ट. So I think in future 5 years, right now it might seem a bit low, but 5 years down the line I see it has a bright future. Girish, I think you are widely travelled and you have seen many a transport nagars beside Ludhiana. Delhi ka you might have visited many a times. So earlier when I was even less travelled, so I used to, when I was लुधियाना में देख के मुझे भी आई यूज्ड टू गेट वेरी फ्रस्ट्रेटेड एंड एंग्री, यार क्या चल रहा है, कोई ध्यान नहीं दे रहा. बट नाउ सिंस आई हैव ट्रेवल्ड अ लॉट थ्रू आउट इंडिया एंड सीन ट्रांसपोर्ट नगर्स, पंजाब अक्रॉस हिमाचल, हरियाणा, दिल्ली ऑल्सो, फिर आई थिंक वी ऑल आर सेलिंग इन दिस सेम बोट. उसमें आई थिंक अगेन अ पॉलिसी नेशनल लेवल पे वी नीड टू टेक अप विद द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हाईवेज, एंड ट्रांसपोर्ट नगर इज़ अ मेजर, लाइक इट्स अ हब, रीढ़ की हड्डी कहते हैं उसको सिटी का. तो ठीक है, वो तो हर जगह लैक कर रहा है, यहाँ भी लैक कर रहा है, एंड वी नीड टू वर्क हार्ड अपॉन इट, नॉट ओनली इन लुधियाना बट पैन इंडिया. आई थिंक इट्स द सेम थिंग एवरीवेयर.
That was our interaction with Anantdeep Singh, where he spoke about the road transport industry, his company, and the future of the road transport industry. However, in the background, you also saw the plight of the Ludhiana Transport Nagar, and rest assured that other transport nagars across India are no different. It is unfortunate that while the government propagates Swachh Bharat Abhiyaan, transport nagars do not qualify for the same. In fact, for some reason, the road transport industry continues to be in the neglected list for all governments in the centre and across states. However, we are hopeful that with youngsters like Anantdeep, Vipul and Suresh taking keen interest in transport associations, the right message should be reaching the government and we should expect some action. Coming up after this very short break, we will continue our interaction with Vipul Bansal and Suresh Khosla. You are watching Trans India, real people, real emotions.
महिंद्रा ये गारंटी देते हैं कि उनका ब्लेजो एक्स सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज देता है, वरना कर दीजिए ट्रक वापस।
सॉरी अजय, महिंद्रा फ्यूरियो है। एक्शन।
महिंद्रा गारंटी देते हैं कि उनका फ्यूरियो सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज देता है, नहीं तो
एक्चुअली जयो, महिंद्रा जयो है, थोड़ा चेंज है। एंड एक्शन।
महिंद्रा ये गारंटी देते हैं कि उनका जियो सबसे चल क्या रहा है यहाँ पे?
मैम, ये चारों ट्रक ज्यादा माइलेज देते हैं, चारों।
तो ऐसा बोलो ना, ब्लेजो एक्स, फ्यूरियो, फ्यूरियो 7 और जयो। महिंद्रा के ये सभी ट्रक्स देते हैं सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज की गारंटी, नहीं तो कर दीजिए इन्हें वापस। महिंद्रा, देश की सबसे ज्यादा माइलेज देने वाली ट्रक रेंज।
Welcome back to Trans India, real people, real emotions. We are in conversation with Vipul Bansal, the General Secretary of Bombay Goods Transport Association, and Suresh Khosla, the former General Secretary of Bombay Goods Transport Association. Suresh, the road transport business has always been a challenging one, and though the profits may have come down over the years, the industry has taken huge strides in technology and in improving efficiency. How do you see the future from here on?
See, personally speaking, I feel the future is very bright. But along with bright, there are various challenges which one has to face. Because if you see, I was just discussing in my family because how do I replace the vehicles? Because now the prices of the chassis have increased. So will I be able to meet by EMIs? That is the biggest challenge. The future is definitely bright. It is a big correction which is going to come in the market, because what I believe, the small players will be out of the market, which should not happen. Today, 85%, if you see the transport population, the population of the vehicles are of small players. And if the small players go out of the business, then it will be a monopolized business, which should not happen.
I'll correct you. The major issue, I think, is FCM and RCM. So people who are using FCM at presently, the fleet owners, so they have to increase their fleet basically. So they are reducing the freight rates also to stay in the market, and they are getting a huge benefit through the reverse FCM thing. So I think that differentiation should be finished. The government should have a single system, either FCM or RCM.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
See, if you see today, the major players, they are all using FCM, forward charge mechanism. If you ask a 5 vehicle owner or a single owner, he doesn't know what is RCM and what is FCM. There, as Vipul rightly said, there should be one roof, either RCM or FCM, and it should be a win-to-win situation for the industry.
So you have a 10 truck guy who is competing with a 50 truck guy, and the latter is competing with maybe a 500 truck guy. What is the impact of such large fragmentation on the prospects of the industry?
See, according to me, this 2 truck guy or a 5 truck guy, he must be earning better than a 100 truck guy. The reason for that is he knows where his vehicles are exactly, and he's working at a back situation, means back on the totally on mobile, but he's calling his drivers, he's running maybe 405 kilometers a day. Maybe I won't be running that because my persons are handling the drivers, so I won't be running that much. So their return loads, they may be paying less amount. In my case, my persons will be taking a huge amount. So according to me, that won't never be finished. That won't get finished. A single truck owner or a double truck owners. The only issue will be the FCM and the RCM thing, or the threat is the startups. That's the only thing according to me.
Do you think going forward consolidation will be the savior for everyone, be it the smaller guys or even the large fleet owners?
Girish, we tried a lot of softwares where we were trying to remove the brokers. And we were trying that the truck owners fill directly from the booking agents, or maybe so that they also earn better and the booking agents also earn better. So we are still trying a lot, and through few of our associations, we have already done like Suresh has some extra vehicles in Mumbai, and he doesn't has his material. So Vipul will load it for him at a price, and we have fixed that Suresh won't go to that client. So this is how we have started working already in our closed groups, and I think we are doing a lot of work in that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Suresh, do you think fixation of minimum freight rates will help the industry, and is anyone pushing for that with the government?
Yeah, definitely.
Anyone pushing for that currently?
See, I think so. There has been a letter from the center also for fixation of pricing.
Yes.
But as on date, there are only discussions and talks which are going on. But if it happens, it will be a good change for whether it is a small operator or whether it is a big operator.
One of our observations in the last few years is that the government is not talking to the transport industry. So while BGTA is still managing to use its contacts and get into the government corridors, the situation at the central level is pretty dismal. In fact, I've been saying this, the transport minister has not met the industry for quite some time now. Where do you think is the problem? Is the industry lacking somewhere, or the government doesn't care about this segment?
See, I will say, firstly, if I point a finger at you, so there are 4 fingers which are pointing at me and 1 finger is pointing at you. So I think so we have to have that correction in ourselves first, and we have to get everyone united so that it should be a one voice which goes. And when it is a one voice, so definitely whether it is the center, whether it's the state government, they will hear and there will be changes which will come, and it will be a win-to-win situation for all.
I agree with Suresh, but only issue now which I see in the all India level or wherever, the only issue is we have to go with correct paperwork, and I think the youngsters should come forward, because the adults used to just go and speak, and now we have to change our systems because the government has also changed a lot. So we have to go with correct paperwork, presentations, so that data, so that would be helpful for them.
Do you see railways as a threat?
Yeah, definitely. Railway is a big threat. Today, if I want to move from Mumbai to Delhi, I'm just quoting an example, I pay 4,000 rupees a ton. And the same case in railways, it is 2,000 rupees. So definitely it is a threat to the industry.
So do you see your business or cargo shifting to railways?
See, basically, if I talk about, because we are into bulk LPG transportation, for our business is not a threat, but in our business, pipelines is a big challenge. It is a threat for us, because if you see all over India, the pipelines are coming in and our running has come down. Where the our
You already felt it.
yeah, it is a feel, we are feeling the heat.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. The pipelines are coming in, and our business, the running of the vehicles have come down drastically.
What's your current fleet size?
As I mentioned, it is 250 plus.
Suresh, you mentioned you have a fleet of 250 plus trucks. How difficult is it managing such a large fleet?
See, it is not the question of difficulty or it is how do you enjoy your work. I don't feel something is difficult or something is impossible. One has to enjoy it. One has to feel it. And with the help of technology and everything, we manage very well.
Do you have any SOPs or measures to keep the vehicles in good shape? What is the process like?
First is the safety, because we are into bulk LPG. We have to care for the safety. There is a specified checklist what we have to adhere with the oil companies before loading and unloading. So safety is what we have to check. And second is that for our vehicles, we have to perform yearly. There are bullet service, yearly services, 5 yearly services. After 10 years, we have to change the safety wall of the vehicles. And more, we are having tracking in all our vehicles. And if you see, we get an alert also. If the vehicle gets loaded, it is a dispatch alert. If there is any harsh on the road, harsh acceleration, if the driver uses harsh braking, so we get that also alert. And once the product is delivered, we get a delivery alert. If the vehicle is reaching, so we get a pre-delivery alert. So it is a technology wherein we are able to manage.
Vipul, with the changing business dynamics, do you plan to increase your fleet in the future?
Yeah, I'm surely planned a lot to ramp up my fleet. See, according to me, in future, who are the fleet owners, they will only be able to work out. Otherwise, it would be very difficult on the market vehicles because of a lot of fluctuation in the rates. So I'll be surely ramping up my vehicles a lot.
Well, both of you have been General Secretary of BGTA. Vipul is the current General Secretary and Suresh has been the General Secretary last year. Do you often exchange notes or thoughts on issues or challenges or what needs to be done?
We have to exchange notes. Otherwise, it will not be able to. We will not be able to manage. We have to take his views. He takes my views. Then only we can move ahead together.
See, the main motive of BGTA was to get the youngsters was so that we don't have ego clashes, and we can easily exchange notes. Like I can call Suresh anytime. Okay, boss, ऐसा है. What's the issue? How can we solve this? So he's available and he doesn't have ego against me.
See, our target is just to resolve the issue.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so that's the major reason youngsters are getting in BGTA. And I am appealing you. Okay, this is the only association where I've seen youngsters, because I've gone to many associations, but nowhere youngsters have come in.
Correct.
The only issue is either their parents are not allowing, or the adults
Adults are not-
they are not leaving their seats to get the youngsters inside.
BGTA's managing committee has 31 members, a mix of seniors and now a lot of young faces, as we talked about this earlier. Do you see a scenario where we shall have only 31 youngsters in the committee?
Yeah.
Very soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Very soon.
Okay, which one of you two is going to become president first?
Not yet.
That-
I want to serve the organization. Because once you
I
become
think
the president, so you're out.
You're out. You become a senior then.
I think Suresh will go first.
I'm sure you're going to give sleepless nights to a lot of people who are watching this now in BGTA. Okay, BGTA has been infamously famous for groupism, and it has also been successfully running this model for selecting the managing committee. But how is the scene inside the boardroom once the election process is over? Is there a shadow of groupism in the decision making?
No.
Privilege?
Once you are inside the office of BGTA, it is only BGTA. There is no groupism, no groups, nothing. It is only in BGTA.
Vipul, BGTA has also been known to have considerable interference from the seniors in the decision making process. How is that scenario currently? Has that changed over the years?
Yeah. I'm not facing any interference from the seniors, because I think nowadays seniors also know that Vipul won't listen, or he will just listen and do his work. So what he wants.
Vipul, what are your plans for BGTA for the rest of your tenure?
See, my major issue is, we have formed a grievance cell for the payment collection. So a lot of transporters' payments are stuck in many of their clients. So we are trying to get that resolved for many of the transporters, and we are helpful to many of them already. So I think that is the major scenario. Other than that, all the issues which we are facing for at the government end, we are continuously following up through our sources, and we have been helpful to the members.
That's nice.
Suresh, BGTA has had a number of subcommittees. Which ones, according to you, are the more relevant or active ones?
See, one is the BGTA Wake. You have seen the IPL, what we have spoke also. The IPL, BGTA Wake committee is very active. Then we see the member grievances, where we resolve the issues. And BGTA Renal, wherein we are having a complex at Renal village, and it is very active. And we are having a labor committee also in BGTA, wherein the whatever issues with respect to Mathadi, BGTA resolves that also. And it is overall, BGTA is doing well.
So as we all know, transporters face a lot of issues at the checkposts. What are you going to do to address those issues, and do you think checkposts need to be abolished?
See, I will tell you, today if you see, it is in the news that abolishment of checkpost. And it should happen. See, because now everything is online. If you see, if you want to check your license, we are having the Sarthi, the Vahan website, and GST. Now, since GST has come in, so I don't understand what is the logic of keeping the check post. Yes, and today the consignor or consignee, every vehicle, if you see the overloading, it has come to minimal. In my case, in our case, there is no overloading at all. It was not happening in past also, and the ratio of the overloading, it has come to, it is not even 1%. So definitely the check post has to be abolished. It doesn't make any sense because it is purely wastage of fuel, revenue, and it is for the drivers, it is a big harassment. And we are just, it is offering, it is revenue which is going out.
Vipul, you will be part of AIMTC's managing committee in the coming term. What issues, according to you, should be taken by AIMTC at the national level?
First of all, I've just filled my form. So it's
I think Maharashtra is unanimous, I think. So I don't think so you will be,
that we can't comment it at present. So see, first thing is the GST issues which the truckers are facing at presently. A lot of people are caught due to e-way bill expiry and the fines are huge. According to me, the first thing that should be taken is the GST issue because of the expiry of the way bill, or maybe a difference of a single digit of number or whatever. So that is the first thing I think, which is quite easy to be taken up by the government and which can be done easily. Otherwise, there's a lot of list for the diesel prices or what the check post removals. And I think All India should do a good networking so that all the small associations are inside All India, and they should have a proper system so that all are being coordinated properly.
Vipul, you were the trigger for BGTA Premier League, a very successful engagement program. And here we have AIMTC on the other hand, which has not even had a national convention for more than a decade now. Will such an activity be on your to-do list for AIMTC?
I think All India should have a national convention quite regular so that people meet up, people should understand each other better, and a lot of problems of transport industry can be discussed in it. So I think if I'll be getting into All India, I'll surely see to it that it happens.
And will you try something like the BPL League in AIMTC as well?
Yeah, surely, if it allows me. If they allow me, I'll surely take that.
It will be a good response there also.
See, the only motive of BPL is not only cricket. Our main motive is to get the youngsters together. And after this idea was shared with many others, so everyone is interested in it. And I think Bombay is the only association where youngsters are sitting together.
True.
I have never seen in either in South, East or North, anywhere.
You're proud of BGTA?
Yeah, we are proud of BGTA.
Definitely.
Well friends, that was our interaction with Vipul Bansal and Suresh Khosla. We will be back with you next week with another very exciting interview where we will be talking about the future of the road transport industry. Like always, we would like you to subscribe to our channel and continue watching Trans India. See you again next week. Until next Sunday, take care. Jai Hind.